Hi everybody. I'd like to show you how to set up a report with a group header and a group footer. I've created this database for a fictional cooking school, and here's a table to represent the cooking classes. We have the title of the class, the instructor of the class. You can see we have two teachers, Pete and Donna, and the day and time of the class, as well as the number of sessions scheduled, like over 6 weeks, 4 weeks, and so on, and the fee for the class. The end product here is going to be a report that is grouped by the instructor. So Donna can look at her name on the report and see that she has these classes scheduled, and she's scheduled for a number of 20 sessions over the next few months or so. Same thing for Pete. So what we have here is a report that is grouped by the instructor, and we also have a total, a calculated total in the group footer. So what we'll do is begin a new report from scratch. I'm going to go to a blank report. Right off the bat, I think I'd like to switch to design view, and from there I am going to open up the properties. You see me right clicking on this little black square to open up the properties, and from here I will set the record source to that classes table that I just showed you not long ago. Okay. From there I can open up the field, the add existing fields list. You know what, before I do that, I think I'll just set up my group right away by clicking this add a group button, and we are going to group by instructor. And I told you that we wanted to have a group footer, which you don't get by default. You see, as soon as I grouped by instructor, I got the instructor header, but I also want a footer, which you don't get by default. So you have to, where it is, there it is, without a footer section, change it to with a footer section, and there it is. Another thing you can do is just kind of shorten things up. You don't need that much white space in your report, and just tighten it up as you're going along, so you don't, because that amounts to blank space on your report. You don't want to waste a lot of paper if you don't have to. Okay, so now setting up the report. I'm not going to do the formatting and the picture and all that. I think you guys are okay with that. But the things that you don't want repeated for each group should go in the group header. For example, you only saw the name Donna once. You saw the name Pete once. You don't want those repeated throughout the report. Another thing you don't want repeated throughout the report, here I'll show you, these are not repeated, and also these are not repeated only for the group. So everything common to the group is going to go in the group header. So really what we have in the group header is the instructor's name and the labels for the various fields. So this here goes in the group header, and then these go in the detail section. Anything that's being pulled directly from the table in the database or directly from a query will go into the detail section of your report. So here we go. I think we'll start by adding the instructor to the group header here, and you can see looking at this report, you don't have the instructor label. You just see the contents coming out of the database there. So we can just delete that label. I just selected it, press delete on the keyboard, and then I'll move the instructor name over there in the upper corner. And now let's see, we had, we'll just dive right into the details here. I'm going to drag and drop the title field into the details section, and what we have here is a label and a text box or a field, as your book might call it. And what I need to do is get this label into the group header, because I don't want that repeated every time a new record is added to the report. I just want those in the group header, all those labels. So this is how you have to do it. You just select that label, you click the scissors on the ribbon here, and then you can select this bar in the group header or whatever section you want to paste into. This holds true everywhere. And then press paste up on the ribbon. And what it does is it'll add the new control to the group or wherever, the section of the report, and you have to then drag it and drop it where you want it. And it's like, you have to be careful. You see, I want that double four-headed arrow actually, and then I can move that over where I want it, and then I can line this up accordingly, and you can tighten that up too. So you're going to do that for every one of these detail fields. I'll just do one more so you get the idea here, and then we'll move on to the group footer calculation. Oh, you know what? I need the number of sessions because that's what we're calculating here. So I'm maybe not even going in order, but you get the idea. Okay, I'll run this real quick. All right, so here without the formatting, we see our group header. We have the instructor name, we have the labels for the various details that are going out to the report. Obviously, I need to stretch out these fields a little bit so they can be read, but you probably are okay with that. It really is just like sizing a window in Windows. If I want that title to be longer, I can stretch it out like that. And oh, here's another tip. You can press Shift on the keyboard and select multiple controls just by clicking on them if you have to move them all in one shot. That's Shift on the keyboard. Okay, already it's looking much better. So anyway, to reiterate, this is the group header and then the detail section. Now let's work on the group footer. We wanted to show the total number of sessions for the instructor. And this is really just a simple sum of this detail field on the report, which is the number of sessions. So let's do that. I'm going to make sure I'm in my group footer here, the instructor footer. I could get myself a little bit of space if I want. And then we're going to go to the Design tab if I'm not there already. And in my toolbox, this little AB control here, that's a text box or a field, as your book says. And we can just draw that right on the group footer there. And then, here I would change something like total classes for instructor, whatever that says on the other report. And now here is our calculated control. We say equals sum, and then in parentheses you put the field that you want to sum, and in this case it's the number of sessions. You don't have to do that case sensitive. Access will know what you want. Whoops, that's number of sessions, plural. See, I almost made a mistake there. And close the parentheses. Go ahead and run it and check. Okay, look at this. Did you see the delay when displaying the number of sessions? I don't know what the deal is with that, but if you run your report and you don't see your totals right away, just give it a second and it'll probably come up. I'm noticing that's a strange thing with Access 2007. Okay, so if I wanted to maybe record the total number of sessions scheduled regardless of instructor, then that would go in a report footer. Okay, you don't see a report footer in this particular report, but I can get one. If I think just right-clicking any one of these section bars, and you can select report header footer. Okay, and once again, it really would be the same type of technique that I just did. I go up to the top here, and I draw my box in the report footer, and we're summing up the number of sessions. Don't forget that equal sign. That's a really common mistake. So why don't we say total sessions? That's for the whole school. And there it is, 34 sessions. Also, if you're not using a section on the report, you can just collapse that down to nothing. Okay, so I hope you found this useful.